So we're just going to talk quickly about rear angulation. On a Bichon, you want to have a nice, cute, round rear, but everything in their breed standard, the Bichon is rounded from any angle. So there are no sharp edges, there's no sharp shelf, it's all very rounded. In order to accentuate the dog's natural rear or to create a nice rear, so our key points of creating angulation, we're going to accentuate this angle right here. We're going to accentuate this angle here, and then this angle here. So in order to do that, we need to pronounce this right here. I'm going to do it on this side first, just because I'm right-handed and more comfortable on this side. I don't know this dog very well. I just met him this morning, so as much as I can feel his shape, you don't really know what it looks like when it's trimmed off until it's trimmed off, and then you can't put the hair back on. So I'm just going to pronounce just little bits at a time. He's looking for his mom. And I can always take more off. So what we're going to do in order to create this angle, when you bend the leg, where it naturally bends, that's going to be your shortest point. And your longest point is going to be exactly where the pin bone is. So his pin bone is up here. So all this extra hair that he has up here, he doesn't need. So we're going to go in a rounding motion. Just starting to scoop in towards that natural bend there. It's easy to leave too much hair on this pin bone here to create that natural, or to create the round in order to create the angulation, but it tends to make the dog look too long. They should be a quarter longer than they are tall Bichons in their breed standard. However, we try to make them look as short and compact as possible. So we want to make sure that, so now I've kind of started creating my angle on the inside here, but if you look from straight on this angle, he still looks very straight. So I need to make sure that I take my curve and round it into the front, so that when I'm looking at this dog from over here, I can see that angulation. Little bits at a time. It's a little bit all over the place. They should be U-shaped. They shouldn't be like an A-frame, like a poodle. So we need to make sure that we don't take him too narrow up at the top here and pinched. We want it to be nice and round. Combing as much as we're scissoring, if not more. Little bits at a time. Again, I just met this dog, so I want to make sure that I take this nice and tight. See all that extra hair that he had when I bent the leg? I usually try and keep my tail quite upright. We've already trimmed in his foot. I did that just before we started filming here. And then once I can still take a little bit more off here, but I just want to do little bits at a time here so I don't take too much and then regret it. So now, once we've created this and we've created that, then we want to create that. So you want to make sure that it's balanced. You don't want to give it too much hock, even though you're going to have a lot going on up here. Unlike a poodle where you have a lot here, you kind of want a lot here. I still like a very moderate trim, and that's just a personal preference. So I kind of fluff it up lightly, and at that tightest point, I'm just going to start taking a little bit off. I'm not going to trim the whole hock off. I'm just going to do a little bits at a time. Scoop in a little bit more and start to come out. Still feeling like he has a little bit too much up here, even though it's looking really round and cute. Round it into your thigh, so when you're looking again from over this direction, sorry, I think I can take him a little bit tighter. He's kind of wiggling a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and use my chunkers just in case he wiggles when I'm taking off something important. bits at a time. Again, starting to go out with my angulation. He's got quite a lot of hair going this way, so I'm gonna start taking hair off the inside and the outside of the leg. I usually start on the inside, combing it up and out. He's been very, very well prepped by his owner that brought him here for me today. So he's kind of, I have to pay attention to the way that he's kind of leaning, and I want to make sure that I don't make him straight down while he's leaning and then make him stand normal and have a diagonal leg. It's great hair texture. So I've created this line on the inside. I'm gonna create this on my outside. Just a straight line. He says, no, thank you. And if you look from over here, you can start to see that shape starting to get there. Took quite a bit off here, and we're getting the parallel line from the inside and the outside. And again, if you're starting with a lot of hair, little bits at a time. I took a number 2 comb on my 30 blade, on my pulse ZR on his underline. I lifted him up and I did his belly from just before his penis all the way up to in between his elbows. And again, although we've made 2 straight lines, it has to be rounded from any angle. It is a leg, it is a round leg. We need to make sure there are no sharp edges. It's not a square. We need to make sure it's rounded from any angle. So I'm still looking for my mom. Not sure who the stranger is. He's missing a little bit of hair here. You could use a little bit of hairspray just to keep that hair standing. Here's the one, Iris. But we'll see. Still gonna take a little bit more, looking like a little bit bubble butt. This side is also a little bit distracting, so we'll take a little more off there. I don't like to leave a ton of knee on my Bichon. I feel like you have so much going on up here that you don't need a huge angle going on here. Just get my light comb out here. I think he had an allergy or a bug bite or something here, and it changed his hair texture a little bit, so we're just gonna work with it. We do want to give him a little bit of waist. Right now he looks very just kind of bland. We want to make sure that he has a spring of ribs, so he's not slab-sided. He's not flat along here, either this way or that way. And we're going to take him right into our tuck up from the front of our toe. We're going to draw an angle up into our tuck up. Little bits at a time. You can always take more off. So back again, our angle here, he says no thank you. Our angle right here on the tail set to our pin bone, which is our furthest point out, back in towards the bend, and then we're gonna come back out this way. And that's how you create your rear angulation.